You know, I found out this week that I don't get brownie points for cleaning the house. That's just acceptable.
No. Do you want to talk about this?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Dustin just shocked. Okay. You just said a thing. His statement was, I can't believe I don't get brownie points for cleaning the house. It just gets me like acceptance.
Yeah, this is kind of true.
Hey, welcome to Idea Drop, the show where Dustin is usually on caffeine. We go over 99 business ideas a day divided by 10. And you can steal them for free. Today, we are going to talk about Bob Iger fighting with Steve Jobs and George Lucas. We are going to talk about
Data?
Frat girls and hot tubs in Boulder, Colorado. We're going to talk about data you can own and sell about yourself. It's not weird. And some other stuff. Welcome to a caffeinated episode sponsored by Daily Decaffeinate.
What are these pills for?
They decaffeinate, but we're getting caffeinated, then we decaffeinate.
Got it.
We're going to take shots.
You gave me, okay, hold on, really quick. You gave me a lot of interesting things. I have pills in front of me, too. I have no idea what it is.
Unlabeled pills.
Yeah, I have unlabeled pills in front of me.
We'll get to that.
Which, I have a history. So this one time I was taking a flight and I was like, man, I really wish I could sleep. And this one's guy's, hey, I got something that could put you to sleep. And I just took the pill. And I have no idea what it was. Yeah. And I realize now, like, that could have been a really bad thing for me. So I'm very ready to take this pill, whatever is going to happen.
And you're my partner in this?
Yeah, it's great. And then you gave me a shot of black liquid I can only assume is coffee.
This is espresso. So that's Starbucks Guatemala Casas Yellow.
Ooh.
It probably would be pretty good. They are not our sponsor. They should be our sponsor, but we're small. So this is a Flair. This is high end. So it gets 9 bars of pressure.
For all the listeners out there.
Put a glass underneath.
Yeah.
All right.
He's making an espresso shot by pressing down on a
9 bars of pressure.
A press, it looks like a hydraulic press, but he's pulling too hard for it to be hydraulic.
It's a manual press.
It's a manual press.
And we want to do about 12 seconds.
12 seconds on his manual press.
Yep.
So you are making me espresso, which espresso, for anybody who needs to know, it has to have extremely hot water and extremely high pressure. So you can't really do this portably, but apparently
this is a portable. It came in a carrying case. Although, yeah, you have to grind it right too. So the grinder's pretty good. Oh. Your shot's really old so yours gonna be bitter and awful. Mine's gonna be awesome. But I'm that guy right now.
Are we just shooting this?
So we're just gonna shoot it and see what happens.
This is like a double shot. This is a big shot.
This is a big shot. Yep. Down the hatch.
Okay.
Ooh, mine was actually great.
It's not bad at all. That's actually great.
Mine was actually great.
Yeah. Let's have another.
Well, I don't want to go clean that out in the bathroom right now. Maybe we can take a break in 30 minutes or whatever. So what you hold in your other hand, so pick up your unlabeled pills.
Okay.
These are Daily Decaffeinate pills. I left the box in my backpack. So Daily Decaffeinate.
Are we going to do both at the same time and see which one wins? Is that the move?
No, at the end of the episode, we're going to take these.
Okay.
I want the full effect. So these were made by some pharmacists in California.
Great.
They're a supplement that speeds up the enzyme in your body that kicks caffeine out of it. And I have a very small percentage of equity in this company.
Oh.
Yeah.
It speeds up the enzyme in your body. So it sounds really chemically, but it also sounds like it's one of those chemicals I would take at the end of the day if it's like, yeah, screw it, I just need to go to bed. And
no, it's not a chemical. It's a supplement. It's a natural supplement.
What's the difference?
Based on rutacarpine. Chemicals are compounds that are formulated by man. Supplements are mixing natural things. So when we make a drug, like for hospital use and FDA approval, that has to be, you have to modify the molecules. And so, anyways, this is not a drug. No,
so this
is a natural
supplement. There's like meth and this is weed, right?
This is I believe it's 100 milligrams of rutacarpine. So this would also work if you bought the raw rutacarpine and you just took the powder. Yeah, that would also work. This also, I'm not sure if this is the one that has melatonin. If we fall asleep, it's because it had melatonin added. So there's 2 kinds of daily caffeinate.
So sad. I have a date tonight with my wife. She'll just be like so bummed at me.
We'll just hit another shot of espresso.
Yeah. So
your brain already speeds up the enzymes, it already processes out caffeine using these enzymes. This speeds those up. This adds to their work.
Okay.
So it's the same way that you already get rid of caffeine in your body, but what people don't realize is caffeine has a 10-hour half-life. Do you know what half-life is?
Yeah, that's when it gets to the half of its life and it goes down exponentially, right?
Yeah. So it's like this is as if you had half of that amount at this timestamp. So we just took a big shot of espresso. In 10 hours, it will be as if we took half that amount. 10 hours.
That's too long.
That is why this is a problem. That is why he made the supplement.
Yeah.
That is why he's our sponsor today. Also, because I have a little equity in the company. So,
It's great.
Right?
What if I take a lot of these? What happens?
Nothing.
Okay.
Unless you're really addicted to caffeine, in which case you will have caffeine withdrawals. And I'm not joking. We have seen that in customers.
That's been a problem. So you should sell versions of it like light strength, heavy strength.
So literally the more caffeine you drink, the less of the pill you would want to take. Because you could give yourself a full caffeine withdrawal, headaches, and sweats, right? So it's counterintuitive. So he has to be careful. So the normal dose is 2 pills. So when you're a heavy coffee drinker like me, you take 1. If you're a normal coffee drinker, you take 2.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep. Right?
That's cool.
But I have used this to cold quit caffeine multiple times in the last few years. So if I want to take a break, I'm not kidding you. I'm like, let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, I kind of get that actually.
Yep.
I want it to hurt for a day or 2.
Yeah, I don't want to slow hurt for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I literally want to be destroyed tomorrow and the next day, and then I'll be okay.
Yeah. I think that's great.
It's my
this
process.
Is cool. I like this. I'm happy that we're going to be trying this together.
And the Flair, though, I want to mention the Flair.
Please.
This is available. I think I bought it on Amazon. You can buy this for like $300. Anybody can.
Yeah.
And it's a manual press. The reason why a home espresso machine is like $2,000 that's actually good is because of all the pressure. Because all the components need to add that much heat and pressure.
Yeah.
So if you do it manually, it takes out a lot of the costs.
Yeah, but
right?
you kind of have to work hard. Like your son probably couldn't make that.
No, it's an adult tool.
Yeah, like you have to pull hard.
Yep.
A lot of pressure.
Yep, you got to have a kettle.
That's cool.
Put boiling water in.
I almost feel like the lever should be a little bit longer.
Yeah, well, they don't want you to break the actual neck, so they actually make it.
Oh, right on the edge.
Because they give you lots of leverage, but they don't want you to bust it, right?
I see. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, I like that. That's really cool. It's actually so cool. I've often wanted to get one of those Flairs, and I've only tried it like one time.
Christmas is coming.
It is coming.
We're friends.
Pick one up. Ooh,
no,
we are.
I'm just. Anyways, those are unrelated concepts.
Notes. Kendall, what do you want to talk about today?
So today I'd like to do another book club. I got some thoughts there.
Okay.
We are going to do a mailbag. I believe it is. I'm not gonna give away the name, but we have a quirky mailbag. We are going to review a Google Sheet, and you have not seen this Google Sheet, and it has 100 business ideas on it.
Did you make it?
I did not, but that's part of the surprise.
Oh.
And then I want to. No, that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Because you've got some.
Yeah, I want to talk about. I'm going to give you the option of we could talk about passion or we could talk about regret. We could talk about bowling lanes or ice skates. We can talk about.
I like bowling lanes.
Keeping your data versus selling your data. 2 business ideas for both of those. We could talk about state shaming. And we could talk about sample packs and locker vans and, medical trips and VR. And I got a bunch of ideas. Okay.
We didn't get to state shaming last week, and I still don't know what that means. So why don't you start there?
Okay. So here it is. This is a very easy idea. I want to start a business that just sells T-shirts that shame states. So the example is I want it to say CA greater than PA. So it's just like California's greater than Pennsylvania. And you could just totally market out to people on Facebook where are they from and who
So Texans are compensating.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And everybody would be like, ha, I'm going to buy this for my relative because it's this playful, war I have with him in his stupid state and mine's better and all that stuff. I don't think it would make a lot of money, but I do think it would cash flow $10K a month pretty dang easily.
I know a buddy who made about $10K a month net and just on T-shirts. And he just used one of those he just came up with designs, tested them with ads.
Really easy
drop
on
shipping,
that.
Yep.
You don't have to do it. It can all be automated.
Right.
You can probably do so little work.
He just traveled in Airbnbs and he just came up with ideas and then would test them, and the ones that worked, he would just scale them. And
great.
It wasn't ever going to be a big business because they're all so temporary, and you do have skinnier margins because you're paying a drop shipping service. And
they take so much. That's actually one of the big reasons I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Right. So after your ad costs, you keep a lot less per unit, but when you find one that works,
easy.
You didn't have to do anything else.
That's if I was teaching like my son to how to start a business, I would teach him how to start a business like that. I don't want my son to get really rich. Right. I want him to.
I'm doing this. I have a 10-year-old who's pretty smart, and he is really into Pokemon cards.
Oh, nice.
Really into it, which because of Gary Vee and all that jackassery, there is never any Pokemon cards on the shelves. The baseball cards and all the cards are gone at Target all the time. So my son's consistently disappointed. So he's become a little collector, and now he looks up the prices, and we talk about flipping cards. So he's been going to school and making trades.
You realize how dangerous this is? Not good.
Creating a monster.
When your when his mom says, "Hey, I want you to do this," he's going to turn to her and be like,
"How much?"
Well, hold on. Let's talk about this, because earlier today you had mentioned this, and those two together equal about 3 times the amount of chores that my sister is doing. So I would say that's probably worth 3 times my allowance. What do you think, Mom? That's what
they already do that.
Really?
They already do that. Yeah. So we have to parent through that. So
that's great.
Sometimes you just have to do what your boss says.
Yeah.
Like literally, I'm the boss right now.
My children,
you just have to.
Are active in debating.
Yes, this is a worse deal than you got yesterday. Yes, those are facts. Do it.
That's great. Life isn't fair, and neither am I. And I'm your parent, so eat that up. All right, bro. I hit you with a business idea. Please hit me with a business idea.
Okay. Well, I actually would like to do book club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So today you got all the ideas. I've got some prepared things. So, we've talked about Malcolm Gladwell, right? Yep. A little bit. We previously did Netflix's Reed Hastings book. I think it's a manifesto on culture. Mm-hmm. Earlier, if you remember, we talked Google's CHRO.
Yeah, that
Laszlo
was a great book.
That one's awesome. There is, Bob Iger is a CEO, ex now CEO of Disney, the Walt Disney Company. And he, as his retirement kind of manifesto, it's not going to teach the average person. Like, it's not dense for teaching. Mm-hmm. It is insight on how the world works, because you're like listening to the stories of one of the most powerful men in the world.
Yeah.
Who almost ran for office last year.
He should have. He's the president we deserved.
He might this year.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So it's possible that he runs for Democratic Party.
Just so people know, he is the good CEO of Disney. There was a bad CEO before him.
Multiples.
And like they did all the terrible things, like Cinderella 2. That was a terrible idea. Just let that idea go away. He was the one who led through like all the awesome epic movies that they now have.
Yes. So let me talk to you about those.
Please.
So in the book, Bob Iger's, I can't even remember it. I should have pulled it up. It's like a wild ride or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's going over his career from scraping gum underneath tables in the ABC studio before it was ABC as a kid.
That's great.
Which ended up getting bought eventually by Disney. So he not only grew in rank in a small media studio in New York, but through acquisition, which had nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
He ended up getting a bigger pond to play in. Right? Without ever leaving.
He got lucky. That's pretty dang lucky.
Awesome. Anybody at the top of the top, has a lot of luck. Right? We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Yes. So you get to see how he navigated these awkward, complex, relationally challenging, hard work. Like, he had to have the right navigability. Is that a word?
Sure.
I didn't go to college. He ends up getting offered. So he gets the COO job at Disney.
Okay.
He had to move. It was a divorce. It was really sad. But his wife's career was back in New York, and she didn't want to move to LA, and they must have already had marriage issues. I don't know. But other than that part, which that is too high a price to pay for success, he ends up COO of the Walt Disney Company, working for a pretty hard CEO, which you were just referring to. Yeah. So he sucked that up for like 6 years until the board was so done with that CEO for various good reasons and he had to politically like hold that together, because you are his number 2.
Yeah, so
and
he
you
has
had to protect him the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. So you had to be the broker of all that, and he gets into that nuance, and that is gripping to me. That's gripping stuff. Then Bob Iger has to basically, like when the board is replacing him and they like announce that internally, he has to go basically political campaign inside Disney because it's such a big political conglomerate. So he has to go win people over that don't know him, don't like him. And he's literally counting votes. He needs a certain amount of votes on the board. He hires a consultant and literally lays out a 3-part strategy, which included the acquisitions. Like when I'm CEO, we are going to spend more money than we've ever spent in company history, pretty much at a loss, on buying Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar. And he had to convince them, I'm your guy, and the reason I'm your guy is not only have I operationally managed this company for 5 years.
Is Disney bigger than those 3 combined?
Far, far, far bigger than those 3 combined.
Okay.
Yeah, far bigger.
Because Marvel is enormous.
Yeah, but they made Marvel more enormous.
Yeah, fair point. When did they buy Marvel? At what
2007, maybe?
Oh, it was beginning Marvel.
All the bangers? Like, remember,
That's them.
Old Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
Not them.
Oh.
Then what happened?
Oh, my gosh.
Anything after, like, the Hulk in 2008.
Oh, yeah. So remember he got rid of the Bad Hulk.
The Bad Hulk, 2008?
Yeah.
So my wife and I watched 24 Marvel movies in cinematic order.
Did you really?
Yeah, we did.
Kind of jealous.
Yeah, it was amazing. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
So we watched it in timeline order, cinematic order, not release order. So Captain America is like first in the 40s.
Yep.
Right? So you see the acquisition happen in that
You
journey.
see the quality jump?
Oh my gosh.
Big
It's
time?
not even close. So getting Steve Jobs to sell Pixar, he details that negotiation behind doors with Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs did not want anybody to control him, push him around, shit on his parade. Steve Jobs was passionate and controlling and believed he was the only guy good enough to do this.
Sounds like Steve Jobs.
Right? And so Bob Iger had to thread that needle. Then George Lucas was like old. And then we had like...
I hate to say it, but George Lucas is also not a great decision maker in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So ironically, George Lucas sold the technology to start Pixar to Steve Jobs. Different book. We'll do book club next week. I can get into that one.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The Pixar story by Lawrence. He's a lawyer that was the general counsel for Steve Jobs when they started Pixar. Different thing we'll get into. But literally, George Lucas was like, this is my baby and it will be on my gravestone that I was the creator of Star Wars. I do not want your money, Bob. Like, I'm not selling. And Bob had to basically go, I know you're not. But once you're getting closer to your sunset, I want you to think about who will hold your legacy for the rest of time and who is trustworthy enough to hold your baby while you can't hold it anymore. That was how Disney...
That's a great response.
Holy Moses. So it took years, but he like lays it out.
So he like dated him for years.
Highly recommend this book because it's told by Bob Iger. It's written by Bob Iger. And these war stories now influence our daily lives. So it's worth knowing, but you also get to watch the journey of someone's life in a narrative that's kind of easy to follow because he really only worked for one company, even though it was like bought by a bot. Yeah. One of the acquisitions was even led by Warren Buffett. So there's a little nugget in there. So that's book club.
That's kind of cool. It's so ironic you said Warren Buffett. I'm reading a book by, what's the CEO's name? Or I think COO's?
Are you talking about Charlie Munger?
Charlie Munger.
Yeah.
Have you read his book?
No.
The Tao of Charlie Munger?
No.
Okay, we can't talk about it today because it's too dang good, but we need to talk about it.
Are you going to bring that to book club?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't put it down. It's
okay. I have not read it.
Dude, he's smarter than
the average bear.
I think everybody.
Yep.
I think he might be the smartest businessman I've ever
He's
interacted
next level.
Anyways, okay, Kendall. That's a good book. That sounds like a nice thing. He's kind of the master of business instinct. I don't know. Like
instinct is that's a great word for
Is that what I should say with that?
Yeah. His brain's perfectly genius, but
yeah, but he's not the guy who's like looking at the charts and he's saying like, I have to do this. He's the guy who's like, this happened today and we need a decision in an hour. He's the guy. He's going to make the right choice. Didn't he, this is a weird thing, but he went through the Roseanne scandal, right? And he decided what to do there.
He talks about it in the book.
What did he say? What did he say about that?
So those were incredibly difficult situations and he calls those people personally and he has to like talk to them as
basically
power to power.
Roseanne releases something that could be taken as a slur. right?
Yep. It was around the height of the Me Too. Was it before Me Too? But
I don't remember.
It was like a very sensitive time. And this type of story was starting to break regularly. Like, we need to hold powerful people accountable as a society.
Yeah.
Social media has really pushed that. And so now the world is like reordering itself on how power works. And Roseanne oversteps and they bench her. And he had to make that call. And she, at the time, that was unprecedented. It was like, you don't bench the talent. The talent gets to do what it wants, and it gets big contracts.
She had her own show, and
because it drives our ratings, which drives our money.
Yeah, it'd be like benching, Tim Allen and his show, or anybody with their show built around their exact personality.
I'd like to describe the chain of money because I don't think most people get this. And it's really simple.
Yeah.
So ratings in TV shows or shows like that.
Yeah.
They drive the metrics that sponsors pay the media companies based on. So the sponsors, Pepsi, let's say, or State Farm, they pay Disney or ABC Studios for Roxanne's ratings. So the better the ratings are on the watch ratings, the more money they'll collect for that hour. So that's why the money is so intimately tied with those decisions. So they're like, we can't do that. We're going to have layoffs. In that studio, right? That's how they think.
Oh my gosh. So they laid off the studio.
They just ended it.
Yeah, that's really tough. That's oof. Anyways, yeah, Bob Iger. A lot of respect for the guy. I have not read the book. I think I've watched his masterclass. I liked it a lot.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fantastic. Okay. Kendall, can I ask you some personal questions?
Let's do it. I'm going to reuse my coffee grounds, which is a no-no.
Oh, yeah. I want to do that too.
Okay.
Should we take a break and make a...
No. I'm going to reuse the coffee grounds so you can have half.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave them in there.
Yeah.
And we're going to pour another shot through them.
We have no shame, do we? Can you just add more grounds on top? Maybe you can just like pop it out with your hands or something.
This is going to be really messy.
I've got...
We can cut this part out and I'll just reset it. Dustin just shocked. You just okay. You just said a thing. I went so viscerally into my traumatic memories and I came in a flash with a reaction. His statement was, I can't believe I don't get brownie points for cleaning the house. It just gets me like acceptance.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
And that is every husband, especially you new husbands out there, must learn.
I'm fitting every stereotype. No, this is legitimately fitting the exact stereotype.
Stereotypes are stereotypes for reasons. Cliche are cliche for a reason.
Dude, my life is hard. You know what? You know why it's hard? It's
My life is hard.
Yeah, it's so hard. I bought a house. You know it's not fun to maintain? A house. And then I got a wife. Wives are expensive. But I'm really happy about that so far.
Worth the trades. They're both worth the trades.
Cut it from the podcast. We can't have this. She listens to it sometimes.
No. She will love this. Emma, he's doing a good job. Just give him a few years. You have patience.
She's actually great. She works just as hard with me, harder than me actually in a lot of cases.
Let's not compare. You are partners.
Yeah.
And you are different.
And she's the prettier one.
And you know, she probably disagrees.
No, I think she knows. She knows. I think she knows.
Okay, I'm not gonna dig into that.
Okay, all right. So while you're making a coffee, I want to talk to you about regret. So regret's a really interesting thing. I was reading the other day a study that LSE did, London School of Economics did on regret. Now, Kendall, I want to ask you, do you have any regrets in life? You don't have to tell me what they are, but do you have any regrets in life?
I'm sure I have some, but not off the top of my head.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Uncommon for me to regret things.
Yeah, that's okay. That's not so bad. So typically people's responses, you're probably right there, but there are some people who are like, no, I have no regrets. This brought me to be the place that I am today. And overwhelmingly, LSE found out like that is a terrible way to live life.
Yeah.
It's not good because then you're not aware of the things.
You're ignorant to reality.
Totally ignorant to reality. Plus, your regrets what they do.
You set me up. Yeah, if I answered that the wrong way, you were going to publicly shame me.
Yeah, but I do that fairly often, to be fair.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So.
Do you want to pull this?
I want to try it.
Okay, all right. Dustin's going to pull the Flair handle.
Never pulled a Flair handle. Okay, here we go.
Okay, slow and steady. Keep it in the white. Okay. Keep it in the white. Keep it in the white.
It's not in the white. It's not in the
white.
Keep
it in the white. Get in the white. Get in the white. Keep it in the white. You got this. You got this. Don't spill.
I'm not spilling. Am I spilling?
Nope. Okay. You nailed it.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Great.
So the crema on top, that's good. right? We did good. We have the crema on top. You can also watch the color. You were a barista. You get this.
Sure was.
But people can watch this caramely color fall, basically.
It's nice.
And so the oxygenation from the top is intermixing with the crema. And this is going more bitter with time. So same thing happens to a cup of coffee or a pot of coffee. Oxygen does bad things to it.
Yeah, there's a whole book called The Myth of the Crema. I'm not sure if you've heard that, but it's all about... Oh, we have a barista in the house, though. But everybody's like, ooh, the crema, it's the best part. It's actually the worst part. It's the part that doesn't taste very good. Is that true, producer John?
Ready? Wow.
Wait, just take a sip of the crema. We'll know.
Okay, all right. Sip,
Cheers.
sip. Hooray!
Heavily debated. Man, I thought I knew.
All right. That's not bad espresso, man.
It's actually really good. Like it's super
hit the button.
good. Oh yeah. Turn your mic off. I'm like really surprised at how good that is. I'm legitimately super surprised at how good that is.
And you can have this set up for only $400 at home. Grinder, burr grinder. I know that's a lot for most people. It's a lot for me too, but
it's better than $2,000.
That's it. It's comparative. So I've wanted this for years. I also have a baby grand in my bedroom. I wanted that for years, but I got it on Craigslist for $300. Give me a break. I did spend $1,500 on getting it tuned.
Get what you want, and I want you to be generous, Kendall.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want my piano?
No, those are heavy.
They're so heavy.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Speaking of hernias.
Gosh, the worst. Okay. Let's go back to regret. I actually want to get into this. So here's what they found. Your regrets, really what they do is they give you a good indication of telling you what you care about. So think about the things you regret the most in life. Those will give you an idea of what you care about the most.
Right. Your values.
The most interesting thing is that they found when people got to the end of their lives, the majority of people would regret having not done things versus having done things incorrectly.
Ooh, yep.
So it was overwhelmingly on that side.
Yep.
Except for one thing, this is kind of funny. Typically, men are like, "Oh, I regret having not, gone out on a date with that cute girl," and women are typically, "Man, I regret having gone out on the date with that guy."
I regret marrying this man.
That's the only one where it like kind of fit like the stereotypes, which is pretty dang funny in my opinion. But so the big regrets thing that they found was people regret not doing what they thought they should have tried, and so that really played into the business idea for me, where I'm like, you've got to try to do the freaking business. If you think that it's something that you could do and you don't do it and you get to the end of your life,
you will regret that.
You're going to regret it. You're going to regret it big time.
Okay. If you're listening to this and you're afraid of regretting your non-action, your inaction in business, I want you to write us, direct message us. You can comment, I don't care, but direct message us on Instagram and tell us what you're afraid of. Tell us why you've been inactive. And next week we'll pick the best 3 answers and we'll talk about them.
It's great. Yeah. No, seriously, definitely do it. If there's anything about that, yes.
So wait. I have questions.
One big thing about this. Okay, this is an important part. Most of the regrets stemmed around conformity. So people regretted going with the status quo, and they wish they would have branched out from what everybody said that they should do. There you go.
Do you have a lot of regrets?
I think I have a couple of regrets. Most of them stem around missing relationships and not having started businesses.
Okay. So, but that's not a lot.
No. Well, no, like I'm sure there's many iterations of that. I
think you and I are doing pretty well on the regrets category because we do tend to just go for it.
Yeah, I really do. Actually, compared to so many people, I definitely do.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't used to understand myself like by juxtaposition of other people. Like I didn't know I wasn't doing the normal thing. I thought the normal thing was like, well, I think this is best and I want to do it. So I'm going to do it. Doesn't that make sense? Like I think it's best and I want to do it.
Dude, my biggest regret is, one of my biggest regrets is probably staying in a dead-end job. And I only stayed for 4 years. But for some reason I look back and I'm like,
I want those years back.
Yeah, you didn't, not even that you had to have fun. Nothing was meaningful there.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's okay. I learned from it, and I don't really do that anymore.
I was in one of those situations. We talked a little bit about this on the very first episode that we aired. If you remember, I mentioned the SEC seizing $120 million of assets.
I remember this, yeah.
Yes. So I was director of acquisitions at that company and then doing like their weird partnerships. So I did their weird partnerships with their rich people, and I did the acquisitions. I nerded out on the details of my job and felt suffocated by the way I spent my time. So even though I really liked the subject matter, like going to the office, I have these old, terrible pictures of my terrible hair, which I know it's still terrible, but gosh, it got better. The more bald I get, the further away we get from that weird poof I used to have.
I want to see.
Yeah, I'll show you. My pants didn't fit right. I didn't care, but they made me wear a button-up shirt. It kind of fits the role
a little bit, actually.
Yeah, so...
What did they hired you? You had to be the nerd. You had to
I had to be like the nerd, but also the guy on the phone negotiating these deals or training the people to negotiate the deals, right?
Good thing it wasn't Zoom era.
It was pre-Zoom, yeah.
Yeah, that
right. I had this beautiful office overlooking like the river and Mount Shasta and the Sundial Bridge, and I could see all of downtown, and it's probably the nicest building in Redding at the time. But I was just depressed all day. I loved the information. I loved the actual job.
Yeah.
But the intangibles around it felt like, why is this important? Nobody treats this like it's important. Like, the relationships here don't seem valuable. It didn't give me like, this is how I want to spend my week. It was very clear, this is not how I want to spend my week. So it's so interesting how you can be trapped into something that you tell people you like, and even that you're good at, and that will pay you money. And you like the money because it makes you safe, and then you get margin. And still, you can be sad.
Dude, that I've told you my hack about this to find out if people actually like their job. So
yeah, see, I'm forgetting, but you did.
The quickest hack is, hey, do you like your job? And if they say, yeah, it's got great benefits, they hate their job. Or number two is, if they're just talking about the name recognition of their job, like, hey, what do you do? I work for Apple. What do you do? Oh, I'm the janitor, but it's for Apple.
It's for Apple.
And you're like, no, you're a janitor.
Do you like the hallways?
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Do you want? No, because I think you want to go do something. You don't want to just say you're doing something for
my
somebody.
dad's dream job after a long career of, arguable success.
Yeah.
And a lot of like depression.
Great.
So he made money. People thought it was a big titles, big jobs.
Yeah.
At the end of it all, there are two things he wants to do for his quote unquote retirement job. One is he wants to get contracts to mow big fields on riding lawnmowers, industrial riding lawnmowers.
Does he want to fulfill the contracts himself?
Yes. He wants to put headphones in and just think.
I kind of love that.
Right?
He would do that tomorrow. He could totally do that.
And the other one is he wants to have a used bookstore in an era where Amazon has crushed Barnes & Noble, which is going out of business.
I like that. I have so much respect for him, actually.
Yeah.
That's such a great,
No, it's a great answer.
And he would be fine. But it's because
life beat the hell out of him. And like, now he's like, what? I enjoy time with myself and my thoughts.
This is funny. We are kind of the opposite. We're like, let's let the hell get beaten out of us. Like, we take punches pretty often.
It's part of being in your 30s.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
And 20s.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to share with you a few business ideas. Do you have any you want to share, by the way?
I will if I get there.
Okay, perfect.
Today's not a big idea day for me.
I'll give you some ideas. All right. I want to start an app called All My Data. It follows you and tells you exactly what you're selling to other websites and other people. It gives you a little bit of synopsis of saying, hey, this is the information that you're putting out there. And you can decide, wow, do I like this? Do I not like this? And then you can figure out ways to opt out of putting out that information. But it tells you what the other people are seeing.
Oh my gosh, you're missing this.
Am I missing?
You're missing. It's incredible. You're missing the last 10% where it makes all the money.
And then you pay for it.
It's a great idea.
What's the last 10%?
This is a great idea, Dustin. I love this business.
Oh, great.
Here's what you want to do with this.
Okay, great.
Now that it's collected all your data for 2 years, there is some buttons to sell your data and to who. And it is a marketplace for CMOs of big brands.
No, this is terrible. Hold on. Here's my next business. It's called Study Me. It's an info study app where you just willingly opt in, and then it just says, hey, we're going to buy your data. And if you're okay with it, we're just going to do it. And then you just...
We pay you for your data?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works too. Just different angle on the same thing. Both are fantastic. But the first one is, first, you're going to get your own data. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what I'm putting out there.
Yep.
That's amazing. Yep. I want to know. Then...
You can decide what you want to sell.
A couple toggles of like State Farm would pay me for this data.
Yeah.
Right? I want... And State Farm will give me $2.67.
But it's easy $2.
There'll be like a button that's like everyone in the insurance industry. And you're like, $260, right?
That's a great point.
Right? So people will get paid by giving away their data, which obviously immediately integrates straight into the big systems of the big companies.
Yeah.
And they want that, and they already pay for it. So they're already buying it. That's what everybody needs to know. That's the context. They're already buying it.
This is great. This
we're taking the marketplace to the consumer.
You know what? I think it could work too, because if I was a programmer, I think what I would do, and I'm not a programmer, so this is really going to be embarrassing, but I would just take the back end of basically any major app, don't do any of the front end, and it just has to run silently in the background. So you just download all my data or whatever it is, and then it's all of the data acquisition tools are completely, they've been made for years, for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you just integrate all those, and then you apply, you download it.
You don't have to.
So you download the most invasive thing on planet Earth.
Yeah. But it only goes to you, and then you get. It just tells you like, hey, this is all the information that.
It's also going to pay you because they're going to get a percentage of every time you sell your data, right? Yeah. So the company's going to get 10% every time you say sell it for $260, and they get $26. They'll get 10% of it. That's their fee.
This is it, Kendall. Finally, we'll be millionaires.
Oh my gosh. No, this is not it for me. Somebody else can do this business.
Would you not want to? This would be...
I would absolutely have stake in this business. Sure.
I wouldn't know how to start it very well.
No. This is a good data engineering. There's people out there that are really qualified to do this. Now, if you wanted to give your life to it, you don't have to be one of those people. You just have to go recruit them, facilitate all this, hold the vision. But you and I are too busy for that. Point of the show.
Yeah.
Give this shit away. Yep. But this is a really good business. The reason is you can do everything compliantly with opt-in. And as the market is doing the opposite, and it's saying you need opt-ins and consumers are rejecting it, now you're saying, but consumers, do you really care? Do you just want some money?
Yeah.
And you're displaying what data you're giving up. So if it was like the data of what your child's movement patterns are, like because Siri or whatever, Alexa is tracking them around the house with their various smart devices, and you see that, you're like, no, thank you.
What you could do is you could say, you could willingly obscure your data. So you could say, do I want to give out my search engine history? No. But I want to give out a white male who lives in this city. Yeah, that's okay. I can do that.
Yeah. So you'll just get paid a little less.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? There's a market rate for that.
Yep.
So would you like less money for obscuring your data into a pool of data so they won't know who you are?
Yep.
But you still get to participate. Man,
this is cool.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
I like it.
If somebody wants to build this and you want to fundraise to make this magic happen, get it provable, get it to the MVP, then email us or direct message us.
Yeah, we could definitely fundraise it for sure.
I will get you millions of dollars to do this if you have a good prototype.
That would be fun. Okay, here, I'm going to give you a completely different idea. Here we go. I want mini golf bowling. I want to go bowling, but I want there to be obstacles in my bowling. That's it.
Mini golf bowling. You want to go bowling?
Okay, initially I was thinking like...
Oh, I like that. Okay, I can picture it. So we're in a bowling alley that's been revamped, and now it's like a pinball machine instead of, like it's mini golfized. So it's like a pinball machine with obstacles and paths.
Yep.
And the pins are... So, okay, interesting.
I don't know. I think you would have to put up the pins manually. I'm not sure. I mean,
no.
It would
Robotic
be like,
arms can set those down in different places.
It'd be the whole experience, though. There's a bar in the place, and then there's also selling hot dogs, and then you're having a good spot.
Could you lower the size of the bowling ball so that people could start more confidently
it could be like Canadian
earlier?
balls.
I feel like that they screwed up the market on that one. Like, if they made the bowling balls about half the size, then kids would have started earlier, families would go more often, and about half the market would participate.
Canadian bowling balls, man. You ever done that?
No. What?
They're like little shot put size.
See, Canadians know, eh?
I'm not a huge fan of Canada, but yes, it's great.
I love their syrup.
Yeah, it's not so bad, and their disposition on anything.
On anything, I love their disposition.
It's pretty funny.
It's true.
I love their disposition.
It's true.
Okay. Ooh, I want an app that I can put my phone to something and it sees the color and then it gives me a color palette to stem off of that.
Ooh, I believe it exists.
Dang it.
But I don't know for sure it exists. But how the hell does that make money?
You buy the app and then maybe it helps you with that. I'm not sure. Probably ad. I think you do ad space on this one. Okay. Because like I want to design something. Let's go off of that color. That could be the palette. Let's do that.
Okay. All right.
We have a designer in the room. Designer, is this a good idea or a bad idea?
He's not paying attention.
Designer's not paying attention.
He's on his phone.
God,
okay.
I hate that guy.
So I think that, color palettes are used rarely and not by enough people for this business to make money. However,
what? No. Anytime you design a business, okay. You've done several landing pages and websites. Do you ever use color palettes?
Yeah, for free. Every time.
Yeah, every time. That's what I do too.
For free. Anyways,
so you do it.
So the reason why I rung the bell is because, but there was a nugget hidden in your idea.
Okay.
And that nugget can be extrapolated and is highly valuable.
Sure.
If you trade me that valuable quick tool, and it just works with my camera, just like you said, right? So I'm scanning the wall and now I get a color palette based off it. And there's a few color palettes that would work with this wall.
This would be like a Home Depot app, honestly.
Yep. And I think they already exist, right?
Dang it, man.
But that's not bad for you because what is in here is a more clear trade. So we're not charging for the app, but you get 3 uses to watch one ad. The ads are 20 seconds. If you watch a 20-second ad, you get 3 more credits. Make it obvious to the consumer that the credits have a relationship with the ads. This is a trade. This is how you pay. Now if you want to buy it for $5.99 or whatever, you can skip ads. Great. Yeah. Right? So if I'm an interior designer, obviously I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
But most people are just going to use it twice and they're going to watch 2 ads and you'll get paid by the 2 ad placements. It's just not big business.
No, and it'll be like so much work. And I
actually don't think it's a lot of work to make anymore. So there's like developers who can literally just integrate something for this color picker and they can ship it. So someone could make this in less than a month on Upwork for you. Why don't you do it?
I don't want to do it.
Okay.
I don't want to do it. I have way more interesting things that I'm doing that I'm
yes,
way more
you do.
about.
Yes, you do.
Which I can't talk about. I'm so sad that I can't talk about it.
Someday you will. Someday you will. So sure Dustin's got things a-cooking.
Things a-cooking. It's like...
All right, so we're going to take our break for...
I don't want to do it. I'm liking this caffeine. Can I take it later?
No. Remember what I said about 10-hour half-life?
Yeah.
This is just going to cut that to like 4 hours or 3 hours. It's not going to kill your day.
Okay, fine.
Yep.
All right, so let's pop
some pills.
Can I have
some water?
And we have 3, right? We take 3?
If you want to get tired.
Oh, God. By the way, that was the greatest airplane ride I ever took. That story ends really well.
So it worked. Took a risk, paid off handsomely.
Paid off. But I will tell you what happened, though. I was told to take a sleeping pill on an airplane. And I take the pill. The person's like, okay, great. So break it up and you're going to take a quarter of the pill. And I was like, oh, I took the whole thing. And he's like, oh, okay, no problem. Don't drink alcohol. I'm like, why? What happens? Well, you might die.
Destroys your liver.
No, like literally you might die because it lowers your heart. It was clonazepam, which is like a really big drug. Yeah, so don't do that, kids. Don't do drugs. It's bad.
Oh my gosh.
It's not a good thing. Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Those are my ideas for the day. I have a few more if you would like, but Kendall, if you haven't thought of ideas, I will give you an exercise to think of ideas. Would you like to try one?
Sure.
Okay. Kendall, I want you to tell me about a business that you think I could start, and I have some parameters. I have $2,000, and I have a lot of free time.
I need full demographics on you to do this well.
I'm a college student.
Okay.
In Boulder, Colorado.
Got it.
College town, super hipster. And $2,000, college student, Boulder, Colorado. And
what are you good at?
I'm a biker. There you go. Use that.
You, like a road biker, or a mountain biker, or
mountain biker.
Or
I'm in Boulder,
Harley
man.
hog biker.
No.
You're in Boulder, mountain biker. Mm-hmm. Okay. And
what would you start if you were that guy?
Okay. And you want it to be a lifestyle business? Like you want it to align?
Those are just the tools I have at this moment.
Okay. Is the goal to make money or to have
cash flow?
Cash flow. $2,000. I probably, if I'm a biker, I probably would use those $2,000 to run ads. So I would make a Squarespace website. On the website would say, come ride with me. And you would say, are you traveling to Boulder and want to take an adventure, bike trip? We talked about something similar. But you know the trails, right? You just know a few.
Yeah.
And you give people 3 options. I have an easy, medium, and hard trail. Here's some photos.
Do you provide the bikes?
And you rent a bike or have one. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You probably, if you're a biker, you probably have 3.
Dude, I think you should do Airbnb experiences.
Sure.
Free ads.
Sure, but I would just make the landing page and I still would do ads.
Yeah.
Because I would want you to fill up your calendar. So I would save the money. I'd borrow some bikes. I would save the money for ads. Fill out your Airbnb experiences. Make your landing page. Make sure you're taking really nice photos. Don't skip the photos. Mm-hmm. And then go do one ride on each of the trails before you go launch your ads. Mm. And that you're going to speed up. So you have a GoPro or your camera.
Oh, yeah.
Speed it all up so people can preview the whole ride.
Yep.
And stop at the prettiest parts. Make sure, at the top of this mountain, and we're going to take lunch here. Yeah. Right? You stop for a water break, a lunch, and a hammock break. There are 3 stops.
Provide the lunch
and
for it.
You provide all that because you're wearing the backpack. They're not wearing a backpack.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and you give them the time of completion. Starts at 10 in the morning. Very reasonable for a traveler. And you make sure you charge for this. Don't undercharge for this. So I think you could charge
$100.
No more. I think you could charge $220. I think
I actually honestly think I would maybe even pay that if I was traveling through Boulder and I'm like, I have one day here and I want to experience Boulder, but I don't know where to go.
This is like a 5-hour trip, right? This is not like a 1-hour excursion. So this is like a 5-hour trip, but you're going to charge $220 for this 5-hour trip, but you're going to take groups of 5.
This is great. Yeah, I think it's great. Ooh, $220 for 5. No, if you're doing groups of 5, then I would say it's $100 a pop.
$139
a pop.
Let's settle in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have I've got my wife with me and our 2 kids.
Family discount.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm putting you in a group with other people. I'm not saying you exclusively book the whole thing. Sure. Now, if you want the exclusive group, there is a price for that. Mm-hmm. It's $5.99.
Yeah, I think this would actually work, especially in a city like Boulder.
You said it was Boulder, man. People come in and they have money when they fly in.
Dude, I went to Boulder one time in my life. Uh-huh. I'm not joking. I drove down a street and I saw like a frat party out of a movie. It was like 300 girls and they all looked exactly the same. I don't know how that was possible. They all wore the same t-shirt and they're like partying and there's a hot tub on the front lawn. And this is really true.
On the front lawn?
Yeah, front lawn hot tub. And I'm like, this is the middle of the day. It looks like this is out of like a movie. And then I park and I go walking down the street and there's a guy playing the piano doing a handstand.
Outside?
Yeah.
I love this.
And I'm like, I'm moving to Boulder. And then there was a guy handing out canned wine.
Canned wine. Welcome to Boulder.
Yeah, Boulder's so weird, man. I love that place. Gosh. It was so fun. I really want to go back. Okay, those are all the ideas I have for the day. Kendall, are there any things you regret in your life that you want to share about?
Okay, I will say I regret staying at several of my jobs for about a year.
Staying.
Yep, I regret staying 6 months to a year too long several times. Yep. So that's my pattern. I stay 6 months to a year too long. Mm-hmm. But I really like my job now.
That's great.
I'm not quitting.
That's perfect. All right, guys, if you liked us, please follow us wherever you like to listen to podcasts and watch videos. And just so you know, if anybody does regret not quitting their jobs and wants to quit their job today, Kendall has offered to pay for 1 month of your salary if you quit your job today and come up with some form of business. Not. So come and follow us at Idea Drop Podcast. We are on Twitter, TikTok, Rumble, GodTube, GodTV, all of the platforms that you can find a good podcast. And we'll see you next time.
Make me an offer. How much equity do I get? All right, bye.